Esta entrevista es presentada por Paraula Idiomas.
Can you listen to me?
Yes.
Perfect. Don't worry. I understand. I believe it's been crazy for you this last 24 hours, I believe.
Yeah, but in a good way. Leon's beautiful. So I'm just running late from having some great food and getting caught up in the moment.
Amazing. Thank you for making some times for this interview. I really appreciate that from you. I know that you just landed yesterday, and in a couple of hours you have this amazing show at FIAC. So how are you? How do you feel about the show?
Oh, I'm so excited. The crew with FIAC who helped us set up and sound check were so nice, and the venue is so special. It's unlike anywhere I've ever been. It feels very Mexican, like I'm in a totally different country, and I love it. I'm really excited to perform tonight.
Yeah, I think that you're going to be delighted with the crowd. Also, the audience that attends to all these FIAC concerts. It's a really great audience, and we are really looking forward to this presentation tonight. So, can you please tell us a little bit about the show? I know that you are you're coming here today with a full band set. So, can you please tell us a little bit more about it?
Yeah, we're a 4-piece band, and we all live in different places in America right now, so it's no small feat that we're together tonight. Andrew Scott Young is on bass, Drew Christopherson is on drums, and Alan Sparhawk is on guitar. And our friend Ingrid is doing sound. And we're performing, the front half of the set is mostly new material from Halo on the Inside, which is an album I put out in March on Matador Records. And then the last half of the set, we're recontextualizing songs that are from all my other records, which are some 10 years old. But it's a really dynamic and beautiful set. There's a lot of dancing, but then room for silence and contemplation as well.
Amazing. Now that you mentioned your latest album, which is Halo on the Inside, the first time I listened to this, it felt so not like the music that's out there now. And so I really wanted to ask you this. How does it feel to make music like yours in an era like this? With, streaming platforms, everything is so instant, and most of the music that's out there, it's for partying or celebration, which is also good. But yours feels like an invitation to an introspective journey. Or at least that's my appreciation.
Thank you. I mean, I'll admit that I'm a little intimidated by the amount of music out there now, but my music habits, I guess I'm old enough where I don't really use Spotify still. So the way I ingest music is probably slower than most people. I like to listen to records or tapes, like mixed cassettes that my friends make me. And yeah, it hasn't been hard for me to I've always known what I wanted my records to sound like. Like, I've never really been confused. But for this particular record, I think I harken back to records that I really loved when I first got into music as a teenager or someone in college. I really loved kind of like a goth post-punk scene, and I've never really used electronics the way I have with this album, and it was really fun. So it was a bit of a branching out for me.
Okay. I heard in an interview you gave earlier this year that a lot of the songwriting for this album involved a lot of improvising. how was that? What was that only for this record, or is this a technique that you used in previous albums?
Well, I do a lot of improvisation vocally. Like I'll sing with a group and do sort of these like lyricless performances that are more operatic, but never have I really leaned on improvisation to write an album until now. Usually I sit down with a guitar and sort of put some chords together. And for this album, I found beats and loops and kind of would turn the lights off and just sort of mumble and kind of let my mind go until I found something interesting. And it really took the pressure off. It was kind of an easier entryway to making things. Instead of saying like I have to write a song, it was easier for me to say I just have to go sing for 20 minutes to a loop or, you know, some sound and see what happens.
Yeah, I think that will connect directly to the audience tonight, or at least that's what I'm expecting, because when you don't have this language barrier, then you just connect with the sound, and it's more like an animalistic connection, I think. So I look forward to that.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Now, I am really curious, and I was doing a lot of research to get this information, but I wasn't successful on that. I am really curious about the name of the project, which is Circuit des Yeux, if I am pronouncing that correctly, which is a name in French. Why did you select that?
Well, the formation of Circuit des Yeux came when I was around 17 years old. So I was still in high school, and I was a bit of a francophone and taking a lot of French, but I wasn't very good at it. And I thought there was something poetic about, I mean, during that time, I remember I have a memory of feeling really anxious and sad at the same time. And it's a hard time of life where you feel like you're supposed to know where you're going, but really, I felt like I was kind of in a loop of not knowing where my life would go. And I came up with this phrase, circuit of the eye, which translates, you know, circuit des yeux in French. It's a little grammatically incorrect, but basically it means the nerve that connects the eye to sight. And it was kind of a promise I made to myself back then that I would just rely on music to sort of guide me to my next point, you know, and let that sort of be my eye into the world. And although I love it, it is hard to pronounce and hard to remember and hard to spell. And, you know, I'm grateful for anyone that listens to my music and, you know, I don't know, deals with that part.
It's beautiful. I think it's a beautiful name. And as a Spanish speaker, I think it is not so difficult to remember. I mean, it's kind of similar to the translation in Spanish, which is circuito de ojos, kind of. That's beautiful, the meaning of the name. Okay, we have some minutes left, and probably this will be the last question, but a lot of our audience is young musicians that are trying to make it in the industry. And I wanted to ask you if you could give some probably piece of advice or an idea that you have on the music path for them that could help them probably on their songwriting or be constant on releasing music or creation in general. What could you say to them? I think this is a very difficult time in music, and I really like admire all these people that's, you know, just having a lot of resistance given the circumstances.
I mean, I will say that it's an industry where there's so many ways to make it and do it, which can be very freeing. There's two things on my mind. One is, I think each artist is inherently unique, and it can be really painful to be unique, to be different. But I think that was a really big part of how I was able to solidify myself as a working artist. It was hard for the first many years because my voice isn't like a normal woman or anyone for that matter. And you know, there's a lot of feedback in this this art form, and if you can kind of feel your intuition, you know, like even if it's singing with a garbage can over your head, like, and that feels right to you, do it. I can't stress that enough. Like, you already know your power, and I think suggestions can take that away and confuse people today because there's so many comments. And the second portion for me, I think playing live is the most important thing. Don't worry about content or the amount of things that you make. You need to interact with people. Every single opportunity I've gotten, whether it's a booking agent or a manager or a label deal, has been because they've seen a live show of mine. And while technology is on the rise, nothing will ever replace singing and performing in front of people. So hold tight to that.
Okay. Wow, that's a very, I feel at peace. Even I feel that after listening to this. So Haley, I know that you have a lot of things to prepare still. I really appreciate this time. I look forward to the show today. I will be there in the crowd. So that's it. Thank you for the interview. We will be sharing this in the following days. So that's it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Enjoy the concert.
Will do.
Ciao.
Bye.